confirm that I know Mr. Mutsumi and that I have done a commercial transaction with him wherein his company had lent me an advance, one of my companies, an amount of 5 million rands.
5.1 to 2.5.9, and that you give detail regarding your communication with them. You see the question?
I do.
You begin your response there too at paragraph 18, and you say at paragraph 2.5.1, and at 2.5.1 is in regard to Mr. Jotham Msibi, the late. If you could then deal with your paragraph 18.
I place on record that one of my companies, CAT VIP, previously provided security services to the late Jotham Msibi. My relationship with him was that of rendering security services. Mr. Msibi was a taxi business owner who was regarded as one of the industry leaders and operated more than 200 taxis. It is standard practice that in the taxi industry that for owners of taxis, especially large fleet, to require close protection services. The very same services that I provided Mr. Msibi.
My apologies, Mr. Matala. I think you are not as audible as perhaps we would hope you to be. It's brought to my attention.
Okay.
I do appreciate that you speak softly, so perhaps try and bring them closer,
course, yeah.
the microphones closer to you.
So, should I repeat this?
I think that there's a general nod around the room. Yeah, just please quickly reread your paragraph 18 into the record. Thank you.
I place on record that one of my companies, CAT VIP, previously provided security services to the late Jotham Msibi. My relationship with him was that of rendering security services. Mr. Msibi was a taxi business owner who was regarded as one of the industry leaders and operated more than 200 taxis. It is standard practice in the taxi industry for owners of taxis, especially large fleet, to require close protection services. The very same services that I provided Mr. Msibi.
Thank you for that. From paragraph 19, you deal with a different issue. I note how you describe your relationship with Mr. Msibi, and you say you rendered security services. Did you have a relationship other than provision of these security services with the late Mr. Msibi?
Relationship as a client?
So you had a relationship as a client. Any other?
Friendship, maybe?
He was a very old man. He was not my friend.
Like a son, perhaps, then?
He used to call me son, but not because of I was his son, but
yes.
That was his way of addressing me.
Other business relationships?
Yes, there was.
What?
Actually, we attempted to, we never had that business, but we attempted to have a business.
Did you have a personal relationship with him? By personal, I want to distinguish it from a relationship as a service provider. Did you develop a personal relationship with him?
Yes, I was close with him, yes.
You're close?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. At paragraph 18, overleaf, you then deal with a different person.
Alleged criminal tycoon Vusimuzi Matlala has confirmed that he has a long-standing friendship and business relationship with businessman Hangwani Morgan Maumela, telling the commission that the pair have known each other since around 2016 or 2017. Testifying on Monday, Matlala said Maumela was previously a director of his company, CAT VIP Protection, and that the two had conducted business together, and said Hangwani Morgan Maumela is my friend and a person with whom I have previously conducted business. However, Matlala declined to provide further details about their relationship, saying matters involving Maumela were currently under investigation by the Special Investigating Unit, SIU. Maumela has featured prominently in evidence before the Commission amid allegations involving corruption, public procurement, and suspected money laundering. He has been linked to allegations surrounding irregular tenders at Tembisa Hospital, where billions of rands in questionable procurement have previously come under scrutiny. The allegations are partly linked to investigations stemming from the disclosures of the late whistleblower Papita Decoran, whose work exposed widespread concerns about procurement at the hospital. The Commission has also had evidence raising questions about alleged financial transaction involving Matlala, Maumela, and Northwest businessman Suleiman Karim. According to testimony, Matlala allegedly did not make payments to Maumela directly. Instead, funds were allegedly routed through Karim, who is said to have transferred money to Maumela on Matlala's instructions. One transaction placed before the Commission involved an alleged 500,000 rand payment advanced to Maumela by Karim and later deposited into the account of Lutaga Trading Enterprise. Matlala's confirmation of his friendship and previous business dealings with Maumela adds another layer to the Commission's examination of alleged networks of influence, procurement irregularities, and the movement of funds between individuals linked to the inquiry. Matlala's testimony has been postponed to August 24 and 25. Meanwhile, the Special Tribunal has authorized the sale of a Ferrari SF90 Stradale linked to the ongoing investigation into procurement irregularities at Tembisa Hospital. The high-end car belongs to alleged tender fraudster Hangwani Maumela, a prominent figure in Special Investigating Unit's SIU investigation. The authorization comes after the tribunal's president, Judge Bernard Magabo Ngobe, dismissed attempts by Maumela, his associates, as well as his mother, Mboneni Benedicta Maumela, a former senior official in the Limpopo Department of Health, to block the sale. The judge accused them of acting in bad faith by frustrating efforts to establish the vehicle's ownership. The application was brought by curator Jacobus Gideon Low van Wyk, who argued that selling the vehicle was necessary to protect the value of the estate while the main case remains unresolved. He told the tribunal that Ferrari continued to incur significant monthly storage, insurance and maintenance costs, and that investing the proceeds will better preserve the restrained asset. The Maumelas opposed the sale, insisting that MHR Maumela Family Trust owned by the Ferrari and that the trust consent was required before it could be sold. They also disputed claims that the vehicle was depreciating, arguing instead that it was appreciating in value. Judge Ngobe rejected those arguments after examining the evidence regarding the vehicle's ownership. The court heard that the curator repeatedly sought clarity on who legally owned the Ferrari. Initially, he was informed that the Drive Time Auto CC owned it, a position supported by the opposing respondents. However, Drive Time Auto CC later confirmed on 3 occasions that it had no ownership rights or interest in the vehicle. The judge found that shortly before the application was launched, the family trust had the vehicle registered in its name without informing the curator, despite a preservation order prohibiting the transfer of the Ferrari to another entity, including the trust. Judge Ngobe described the registration as a stratagem designed to frustrate the sale and ruled that the respondents' conduct amounted to bad faith. Although the curator initially argued that the Ferrari was rapidly losing value, the tribunal found that the evidence did not support the claim. Independent valuations placed the vehicle's value at just over 10.1 million rand, while purchase offers ranged from 10 million rand to nearly 11 million rand. The judge noted that the Ferrari had originally been purchased for about 11.13 million rand in April 2022 and had lost some value but not enough to qualify as rapid depreciation. Instead, the decisive factor was the ongoing financial burden of maintaining the car. The tribunal accepted evidence that insurance costs were about 100,000 rand a year, storage cost 5,000 rand a month, and reinstating the warranty would cost roughly 408,000 rand. Judge Ngobe concluded that investing the sales proceeds will generate interest and better preserve the value of the restrained estate than continuing to keep the vehicle in storage. The tribunal authorized the curator to sell the Ferrari for no less than 9.5 million rand. The money must be deposited into a special interest-bearing trust account, may only be used to maintain assets under curatorship with the SIU's approval, and cannot be used to pay the curator's fee. The ruling cements the SIU's effort to strip the syndicate of luxury properties, supercars and other high-value assets allegedly acquired through the proceeds of unlawful government contracts. It follows a preservation order granted on August 14, 2025 and covers an extensive collection of luxury real estate in some of South Africa's most exclusive suburbs, including Bantry Bay, Sandhurst, Hartebees, Ballito and 3 Enco Bay. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.